All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Philippe Lions, and I'm working in the Oracle Analytics Product Management Department, and I'm very excited to have this session with you today. So, today I would like to spend a few moments to discuss with you how integration of AI, artificial intelligence, along with your business analytics, can drive a lot of business value into your organizations. But before I begin, let me take a step back with what do we mean by business value, right? Sorry about that. So, in the recent past years, right, it's been widely recognized that business agility was actually a key driver of business value, or even of business success, right? Many executives have engaged into transformation in their organizations, right, to make their own processes become more agile. So, trivial to say that agility means most pertinent insights and information into your business processes so that the best decision can be taken at the right time and best actions, business actions can be executed and best value can be derived out of it. But for as trivial as it sounds, it is not simple to achieve, and it is still more important than ever. So if I look at this Gartner diagram here, what you see at the bottom of the diagram is the x-axis time to insight. So basically your level of agility in getting insights. And what you see on the diagram are different waves of analytics. So you may have already seen this diagram, and it's pretty classic. We've all been through that evolution over the past years, where we see on the bottom left of the chart the diagram, enterprise semantic analytics, semantic layers built by central departments defining a single data model or a single source of truth, with dashboards and reports being consumed all over the organization. And from that starting point, which was maybe a decade ago, which is still very valid in organization, then multiple waves of modernizations have happened over the years. And the next one, the second one, let's say, is the self-service visual exploration, the capability of users to come and blend their own data into the analysis, along with the central data model, come in with their own analysis, build their own insights right away, blend and join data in many ways, prepare it, be autonomous with doing this on their own without depending on IT and centralized dashboards and repositories. And even further up, the blue square, pretty much the third one, is one level upper in the need is augmented analytics. So basically self-service, but with an intelligent machine that provides you already some pre-built content or some proactive insights based on your data or suggestions on how to transform it, or maybe encapsulated ML to better analyze your data without having to understand everything. And if you keep going up, the augmented customer is a way to make this even more liquid and provide business users with proactive insights wherever they are, whether it's on their mobile or whether it's dialoguing with the computer, just speaking with the computer and asking questions or through a chatbot, or maybe just putting this directly in the context of a dashboard right away, spontaneously. So that's kind of picturing how the evolution has happened over the past 10 years, let's say. But what is really interesting in that diagram, in my opinion, is the y-axis. And according to Gartner, that evolution and that um, efficiency in business agility is highly correlated with the presence of artificial intelligence into your analytics process. The more you embed, or the more you're capable of embedding artificial intelligence into this insights process, the higher the return, the higher you climb into that diagram. and hence the higher the business agility and the higher the business value. So AI is actually a critical component of achieving the value that we're discussing here throughout analytics. So really, what does it take? What does it mean? What does it mean to achieve AI, embed AI into processes, right? What does it take to an organization to really absorb and include AI in their processes? Well, typically many things, right? But if I want to summarize clearly, it's a sequence of different things, some of which, or these are spread through different profiles in our organization. That's the challenge, right? So some of these are business related, but we need to know what we're looking for before we jump into any AI or artificial intelligence or ML or even advanced analytics. If you're going there without a question, you're not going to find an answer. So you need a precise business related question that can be framed. Second, we need some data, right? Now, which one is the right data? We're all surrounded with massive amounts of data, but typically a business analyst could come in with some external data that really has or holds a potential answer to his business question when it is joined with the organization's data. So these two are probably closer to a business user profile, knowing what data to look for, knowing what problem he wants to solve. But AI is also about technical skills and capabilities, right? So all these algorithms, all these calculations, who can really compute them? Who can really transform the data so that it gets ready for being applied AI? That's typically a technical skills that not many business analysts carry. They understand what AI can deliver, but they're not sure how to apply it or how to execute it. And eventually, the last but not least is the computing power to achieve that and execute all these algorithms. And where do you find this? This is also an infrastructure that is typically not easily available to business users, or that requires complex systems and can only scale up really at an organization level to the cloud. So the good news and what I want to talk to you about today is that Oracle Analytics has a lot of capabilities to help with this process. It offers actually many different advantages for this. And that's what I want to demo to you here. So first off, Oracle Analytics was built from ground up to address the different waves that you have seen in that Gartner diagram I was showing you. If you look at the left here, you see govern analytics, enterprise analytics. This is the legacy capability of Oracle Analytics, with maintaining a semantic layer and then dashboards and reports on top of this at an enterprise level. So very scalable, very robust, enterprise scale. You can see in the middle as well self-service analytics, which is also addressed by Oracle Analytics in a seamless experience. So users can jump from enterprise analytics to self-service analytics seamlessly, consume dashboards, produce dashboards, but also bring in their own data, prepare their own departmental model, do their own analysis, build their own analysis, and derive their own insights very easily. And actually, Oracle Analytics has been highly recognized by many industry analysts for its capabilities in self-service analytics. And eventually augmented analytics, which is, if you remember, that was kind of the highest in the diagram, which is the ability to, like I said, proactively offer insights or offer recommendations or offer suggestions or even enable machine learning. And that's the other aspect of Oracle Analytics. It's the fact that this is part of a larger infrastructure called OCI, Oracle Cloud and Infrastructure. And within that infrastructure, Oracle Analytics can highly leverage a lot of things. First off, it leverages an infrastructure, security, data management, all governance aspects, all sorts of enterprise level aspects, which are critical when you want to deploy such a solution. But most importantly, and that's my point today, it leverages a lot of artificial intelligence, advanced analytics, and machine learning that exists within Oracle. So Oracle Analytics is not just a visualization solution or a reporting solution or an analytics solution. It's also an advanced analytics solution for business users. And the value that it brings with this is that it seamlessly integrates the artificial intelligence that you can see here in that picture, and it makes it available to business users in a very natural way. So if you remember the slide where we were showing what does it take to achieve AI in your processes, it we had data sets, we had business problems, but we also had technology and we had power and infrastructure. So Oracle Analytics puts the very powerful AI algorithms within an infrastructure that is very robust at the fingertips of business users without requiring any technical skills from them to operate it. Let me show you that. So let me zoom on this data science slash AI little box here that sits within Oracle or under Oracle Analytics. Oracle Analytics here in this diagram is this. And then we're going to look a little bit of what else do we have as part of Oracle that Analytics makes most of. So Oracle has lots of different services that are available that are pretty advanced. You can see here in this picture some AI services in the blue box at the top. You can see machine learning services in the gray box at the bottom, and advanced analytics as well. So there are many very powerful services such as digital assistance, speech, language, vision, OCI custom functions, anomaly detections, forecasting. And then you go a little further down, you have very robust platform for doing data science, for building machine learning in database, or simply running very advanced analytics in the database, such as spatial graph or any other thing like this. Oracle Analytics, of course, makes the most of all of this in a native way. So there is a very intimate integration between all of these services and the code of Oracle Analytics. And you can see a few that are already available marked in green, such as vision, functions, machine learning, advanced analytics, and we're working on many others that you will see very soon, hopefully by the beginning of next year. And come and see me at OpenWorld. At CloudWorld, I'll show you some of these demos. But meanwhile, let me zoom, for instance, on OCI Vision as an example. What is this? OCI Vision is a service that is part of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI, that allows to run a set of different algorithms or functions on any image. So it can detect what it sees on an image. It can detect objects on an image and reference it. You can see that car here with a little square around its wheel or around its license plate, or it recognizes a set of objects. Or you can classify images, or you can recognize text in an images. And this is very useful for functional people like me because I have lots of images from all over the place. What if I could derive some value out of this and do some business value out of this? Maybe spot issues, or maybe recognize how much usage there is in a parking lot, how much line there is in my waiting line, how many people. So this is very powerful service. So let me quickly show you a demo on how Oracle Analytics can help me, a business user, make the value of that service that sits within the Oracle OCI infrastructure. So for this, let me pretend that I am a business analyst. I have no technical skills, and I am looking at real estate for our organization, and I need to understand how we're using our parking lots and if we can improve the cost management and basically see how they're being used. So for this, I have a set of different images, pictures that our camera have caught on our parking lots. So here's a list of pictures, for instance. I can see different time of days and different days and different pictures that's coming from our security cameras, and I have many of them. If you see at the bottom here, I have about 414 images. You can see this at the bottom of this window, which I would like to be able to count cars on to see at what time of day, what is the usage and the occupation of our parking lot. So for this, I could go in OCI, so that's my OCI interface, and look at that AI service that I was mentioning to you about a minute ago. So there is this AI menu right there, and within this AI menu, there are different services, as I mentioned, and one of them is Vision. So let me open that Vision service, and within that Vision service, I can see different functions here, like image classification, object detection, document AI, which is recognizing text. So let me click on object detection and see what happens. So this is taking me to a UI where I can see an example here of an image with some cars being recognized, but it also prompts me to drag and drop one of my files. So why don't I do this? Drag and drop it here. And the algorithm runs, and it seems to recognize cars and lamps and some trees. And I can see on the right here what it recognized and the level of confidence for it. So when I click on the street light, it appears and it highlights it. If I click on a car, we can see in the back here, the car being highlighted. Let me drag another image from a different time in the day. So the algorithm runs, and we can see again that it found the cars on the picture. So this is cool. This is exactly what I need. But I need to apply this to all my 400 or 5,000 or whatever number of images that I have. I cannot do this manually, and also I need to export the results so I can make sense of it and analyze it. Well, that's exactly what Oracle Analytics is going to enable me with. So this is my homepage here in Oracle Analytics. And what I'm going to do next is just check that within the machine learning models of Oracle Analytics, I can already see these models that exists in OCI. So these functions, that AI functions, are already registered in OAC. Now, of course, somebody just registered them, but that's an easy step. I'm saving you from this in the demo for time's sake, because I registered for an OCI and I have OAC and I just connected these two. That's a very easy step. But once it is there, all of these models can be used by any business analyst like me. Okay, so I can see different type of models. Well, I see the ones that I need are there. So what I'm going to do is simply consume that right away into a data flow. So I could, look at, more details about each of these models, but right there, I'm not going to go into that level right now. I'm just going to close this and go create a data flow. Why? Because that's where I'm going to invoke that model from Oracle Analytics. So here's my car parking data set. What is that? Well, actually, what I've done here is I've taken my 400 images and I saved them into a web folder, a bucket in the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. This is just a URL to the place where I saved my images. If I copy this and paste it, you can see this is what I've just pasted. This is a web just version of all of my images. You can see here all the images. I got all 414 right there, which is I've just uploaded this in a folder. That's all it is. Let me go back to analytics. And there, let me just invoke a step. So here is my AI model, apply AI model step. So that's what I need to invoke. I want to run AI on these images. That's what I want to do. That's that much I can understand. Now here's my list of models that we were seeing a minute ago. There are several models. There could be some other, text-related models, but in our case here, we're looking at object detection. So where is object detection? We have one that says field test pre-trained object detection. That's the one that was registered in OAC. And so what does it want from us? All it wants is give me your bucket URL, which is sitting in that column bucket URL in my data set. And that's it. I can change a few parameters if I want to, like how many objects we expect it to find in each images. And I'll just take this by, all the output as default. That's it, I'm done. I'm saving this as a new data set and I hit run. And maybe I'll change the confidence to aggregate as average. And when I hit run, Oracle Analytics is simply invoking the OCI service behind the scenes. So it's basically doing what we were doing manually a minute ago, but it's doing it massively for all the 400 images. And it's retrieving the information for each of these images. So you can see on the bottom here some preview of the results. And that data flow is running. So I fast forwarded it. And it ran for 1 minute and 25 seconds on my example with 400 images. And it generated this data set. What is that? This is a data set with results of image detection in OAC. And what we see here is different columns. So now I can start analyzing with these columns, right? So if I look at how many objects did it found, so out of 400 images, it found about 12,000 objects. So many objects in several images. And what type of objects? Well, we found car, street lights, traffic lights, vans, and so on. So let me actually look a little bit at the details that this data set contains. Let me just take a tabular table here. Wow, that's kind of busy. We have image names. So this is telling me for each image, what are the objects and what are the vertices? The vertices are the coordinates of the objects in the image. So in a single image, so if you notice the few first rows, they are all about a single image, which is 10:04 at 7 hours 16, and many objects were found there. This is hard for me to understand. So why don't I use a visualization in OAC that will allow me to see the image directly? So now I'm seeing the same as what I was seeing in OCI. And if I click on a given example, here you can see the street light that it that I clicked on, which is highlighted on that picture. And if I take another example, if I scroll down a little bit, here's a motorcycle. If I click on it, that's a different picture, different time of the day, and it highlights the motorcycle that this object. That's exactly where this object is being found. And I can do this with all of my 12,000 rows if I want to, or so I click around and I can see different objects there, or I can simply aggregate this at the image level, not at the object level. And I can see that for a given image, we have 1, 4, 6 objects. So if I click on this one, this image is showing 6 objects, and these are the 6 objects that have been found by the system, by OCI function. This is 4 objects, and here's one with 42 objects. Here are all the cars that were found in the parking lot. How about this one with 46? So this is just helping me understand that this did the trick, and I have a data set that has all the results of each image analysis that I can now run insights on. So if I fast forward a little bit, I can go and build visualizations just like the one that I'm showing right now. It's just a few minutes ahead. And here I can see how many objects we found by different hour of day over the time frame that I'm looking at, or by different day of week. And I can have that picture that's telling me exactly where these objects are. So if I now use this as a filter, which is a native capability of OAC, I can do my business analysis. Let me look at Fridays, for instance. So we have only 59 pictures on Friday and 2,000 objects, 2,000 cars that were found. Now, if I look at a given hour, let's say, how about 3 p.m.? So Friday, 3 p.m.s, there are 6 pictures you can see on the right. And what if I look at different pictures here? So it's about 43 cars on average. That's the bar chart telling me this. Now on this one, we have 44 cars. On the next one, we have 43 cars, and here they are, and so on. So I can now, within few minutes, I was able to send my pictures into OCI AI, use the AI capability, get the results, and get a very powerful analysis in Oracle Analytics. Now I can understand when are my parking lots being used or not, and if there is anything that we could do about maintaining costs. This is how AI, artificial intelligence, that is sitting in OCI can be consumed by OAC and made available to me as a business user. Notice I didn't have to worry about any technical aspects here. I brought my images, clicked on a data flow, looked at the results within a few minutes. That's the agility that I was hoping to demo to you. So if I go on, there are other aspects of AI that can be integrated, that are integrated as part of OAC. Language analysis, sentiment analytics, or key phrase extraction, or language recognition, or recognizing entity in language. So this is very powerful in customer feedback, for instance, or product reviews. Exactly same process that I've shown you with vision, image recognition, same for language. So I come in with my text, I go in a data flow, and I get all the sentiment analysis, and I can do very powerful um, analytics on it. right away without knowing any technicals about any of that. And if I keep going on, if you remember, there were artificial intelligence services, but there were also machine learning and data science services. So we've integrated machine learning. There's a different session about this, which you can join me for. There are some advanced analytics about text, about market basket analysis, or even graph analytics that are integrated as part of OAC. So this is not OAC doing the job. This is OAC leveraging the services within Oracle infrastructure to do this. In this case, it's database service. So if I give you an example of graph analytics, in fact, why don't I go and demo this briefly just to, it's better than a slide, I think. Okay, so here's a data set that I have. And again, I am a business user and I have a very specific business problem. Remember that slide where we had business problem identified? I have a data set which I got, which is outside of enterprise world model, and I need to do some graph analytics. This is representing different source and destination. You can see on the columns in the table. It's a network, right? So from source AABH to goes to destination AT and R and DG, a little bit like a train network, right? And if I actually highlight a few of these, I got, for instance, this source ABP that has different destination, or that source that goes into different destination, and so on. I have about 16 or 1700 connections, and that's about 600 different sources and destinations. So I can easily represent this in a visual way within analytics, which is a network visualization. So here's my network. That's the exact same data we were looking at, but now it makes a little bit more sense. So I can play with the visualization in OAC. This is fun. But now, what if we took like this red dot, for instance, which is DPX, and here's another dot, which is UB, I think. And what if the business question was, we need to go from DPX to UB, what's the shortest path? What's the shortest path? Now notice that there are directions in every edges here, right? So there are direction in every of these branches. So not everything goes in both ways, right? So we can try to understand kind of visually how to click on this and try to, out of luck, figure out if we can find the shortest path here or a path, but that's very difficult. In fact, for me as a business user, there's no easy way to get from A to B by the shortest path. This is network graph calculation. IT is very busy. I'm not going to get any technician to help me with this right away. How do I do this? That's exactly the type of advanced analytics that Oracle Analytics will help you do, because it exists as part of OCI and the database. So in this case, I go and create a data flow yet again. And in this data flow, I'll invoke a graph calculation. So let me go with a graph data set. That's the data we were looking at a minute ago. So you'll recognize it. This is the same table. And I'm just going to ask the system for graph analytics right away. And what this is going to offer me is subgraph, shortest path, ranking, clustering. Well, we want shortest path, we know that. And there, it's going to ask me as an input, give me a source vertex. Okay, my source column was source, and it was DPX, right? So here's my starting point. My destination was UB, actually it's a destination column, and UB. And voila, let me pick UB. And what is it that we want to weight by? Well, distance, right? Is we want the shortest path, not the fastest one. We want the shortest one. That's it. I'm saving this. I'm giving a name to the resulting data set. I run this. When I run it, it invokes the right services behind the scenes in the Oracle infrastructure, in this case in the database. The data is being processed. The complex calculation is happening. And here is my resulting data set. Let me open it. So it took about a minute and a half, so I skipped that part, right? But let's see what we get. So we see a path, a source, a destination, and a weight. That's the table. That's 11 steps to go from DPX, you see top right, all the way down to UB. Wow. That's exactly what I needed, right? Now, I can even go and visualize it using that was the network width we were looking at a minute ago. So here is my table with the shortest path. You can see it on the right. And if I click on, so here's my DPX and the UB is the black one at the top. So let me drag it. And if I click on the different steps here, it highlights on the map. So here's the path. Here's the solution to the question we were having. That's what we want to do. Now maybe we want a little more robust visualization. So I can even bring this as part of the visualization here. And now it's going to show me the shortest path highlighted in red. So we achieved this, you and I, within a few minutes here, without knowing anything about graph. All we knew was the business problem and the data set. And the technology behind it, the skills behind it, were all hidden from us through the UI of Oracle Analytics. But the technology exists within Oracle, and the power to compute this exists within Oracle and was just chilled from us just to consume it. This is another example of business agility by advanced analytics that are being made available as part of Oracle Analytics. I think it's really exciting because it opens the scope of possibilities very widely for me as a business analyst. There are many more of these examples. Association rule is an example to calculating market basket, which is also a very complex problem to achieve, technically, but it's all shielded and the data flow will resolve this for me. There are many others. I'll be happy to come and discuss this more with you, but I'm running out of time right now. So I'm just going to point you to the analytics URL and thank you for your interest and your patience listening to me. Hopefully you found some interest. Thank you very much.